Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a Rating Your Doomstack video covering a Kairos Fateweaver Lord of Change Doomstack, where we'll be going up against 3 armies of Kislev here. The auto-resolve says decisive defeat. This is not a good auto-resolve army, by the way, but this is... Funny thing about this army, before even testing it, because I actually used this in one of my own campaigns, this army is actually too strong. It's inefficient because it is actually just too strong. Alright, I'll jump into the battle and explain exactly why. Yep, that's fine. So, there reaches a point with an army, very rarely, where it's so strong that you could go up against anything and walk out of it unscathed, right? And Kairos is currently so powerful, and especially with this Kairos here, because he's got the Sword of Blade of Slaanesh, and also he's got Throt's trait, and it looks like he's got the one for the Blooded trait. He's so strong that there is nothing that he could go up against and realistically take any serious damage. Alright, so what we're going to do in this battle here is just wait for them to bring in their reinforcements. I'm just going to... Why can't he go there? Is that just impassable terrain? Right. Yeah. Right, so yeah. He reaches a point where he becomes so powerful that if he just has 1 or 2 heroes in his army that have access to an arcane conduit, he's so powerful that there's nothing you can go up against and lose. As long as actually no, you don't even need to keep the this guy on the ground, because Kairos Fateweaver is unbreakable because of the Blade of Slaanesh, and he by himself can access unlimited winds of magic. It just isn't quite as good if you don't have some assistance, that's all. So this just helps speed things up a lot. So having these guys in here doesn't actually make the army any stronger. But, you know, they're here, so we might as well use them. Alright, so what we want to do here, we're going to use the army as it's intended to be used, where these guys here are a Winds of Magic battery. You basically pop this down, and then just... You actually shouldn't pop it down all at once, because there reaches a point where you sort of reach a cap with the recharge rate, which I think is like 2 every second, which seems to be the case there. I've never seen it get any higher than that, if you do it all at the same time. But it's actually better to stagger it, but whatever. That's a degree of efficiency that you don't need. So, back to the original point. This army is actually too strong that it actually becomes inefficient, because Kairos can win this battle entirely by himself. Just keep the heroes, right? He doesn't need these Lord of Change. It would take a little bit longer to do it without them, though. So, these guys here, they're just superfluous. They're just added upkeep cost. It would be better to put these units in another army that can't access the Unlimited Winds of Magic. But it's also important to note that the Unlimited Winds of Magic will probably get patched at some point, and so we can't really use it as a crutch forever. So just wait for their reinforcements to come in. Because yeah, this army is so strong that it really can just take on anything, as long as this guy here doesn't get discovered. Which he's not really in the best spot. But the thing is yeah, just come down here. Be a much better spot for you. And if he has to withdraw from the battlefield, that's fine. These guys here, they can just outrun pretty much anything, no big deal. Keep them out of the fight. They do have a missile attack, but just don't bother. Now, with this battle, because it's specifically a Lord of Change Doomstack, I know very well that oh, hang on, they're coming at us. I know very well that if I wanted to, I could just send Kairos Fateweaver in and wipe out all of their armies by himself. But we want to test out the Lord of Changes and just see how much they can do. Now, they're definitely better in Kairos' army because he increases the amount of barrier, and also the barrier delay gets reduced. But, again, he just doesn't need it. He's just so powerful. Why not? Put him in control groups. So, while I am definitely going to use Kairos' magic, I'm not going to rely on it entirely. Right. Their reinforcements are here. Let's do this. Because, yeah, these guys here, they do provide mastery of the elemental winds, but so do the heroes, right? And I'm fairly sure the heroes are actually cheaper upkeep costs than the Lord of Change, and they're providing arcane conduits, but the Lord of Changes aren't. And they're also providing the mastery of the elemental winds, which is, I reckon, one of the most overrated new features of Warhammer 3. It's really not that big of a deal. It's, especially with Cathay, using it as Kairos, he benefits from it the most, but Cathay, not so much. So they do end up taking a little bit of damage here, but because of Life Bloom they can heal. So Lords of Changes are not the best in melee, but they're kind of the tankiest of the Greater Demons because of the barrier. And they're particularly good against mortal opponents because of the physical resistance. And ward save. Well, ward save because of the spell casting. Yeah, they're fine. Because you want to keep them in a blob, you definitely don't want to separate them out, because if they're in a blob like this, units can't properly focus fire on one of them in particular. Oh, it's gonna hurt. And so it gives them some time to regenerate despite being in melee. You don't have to actually pull them out. As long as you fight together, spread out that barrier damage. So I don't have to use it all at once, but meh, we don't need to be efficient. This army is so powerful. It's, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give it a score at the end of it. That'll be, it'd be weird, basically. We've also got this, which we don't need to use, but it will speed up the battle. Okay, whatever. We don't need to use it. You know. It's like bringing a nuclear weapon to a sticks and stone fight. It's just excessive. It's good, and he put a lot of effort into it for sure. Also, another thing to make note of, some people might think, oh, but it's not perfected because these guys aren't at rank 9. Guess what? Lords of Changes are bugged. They can't go beyond rank 3 for some reason. What? Creative Assembly make bug game? Never. Whoops. No, so they're definitely trying to focus fire on Kairos. So it's good to have him with a lot of ward save, but he needs a break from the from taking damage just to regenerate some barrier. I don't know what's going on over here. They're just being stupid. And that's another thing as well. When you've only got one unit available for them to see, the AI just doesn't understand what's going on, especially if you're the attacker. They just won't understand why you've made the attack, and they'll do stupid things like constantly reform, because they just won't understand. So just doing a little bit of cleaning up around the back here. Alright, Kairos. I gotta get back a little bit so that you can heal. Gotta get that barrier back, because he's got loads of barrier. Alright, so I'm just gonna do a shit cast just to get Life Bloom active. And when you got unlimited winds of magic, it doesn't matter if you're wasting some. Doesn't matter, dodged it. Doesn't look like he's got Keymasters as the hero traits there, because this barrier is regenerating really slowly. I think it's just regular traits. Maybe it's disciplined. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'll check after the battle. Alright, let's go in. And the more blobbed up they are, the better, because our magic can annihilate them. So Kairos is going to end up... Well, he doesn't actually have that many kills, but they're doing fine. None of them are... some of them have a little bit of damage, just a tiny bit. But we can heal them. I guess that's one thing that the other armies can't do. And because Tzeentch has such disgustingly low replenishment rate, having a damaged Lord of Change could take forever to actually heal it. So you kind of need Kairos. Because, yeah, unfortunately you can't give the fragments of Ghyran, the life magic one, over to other Lords of Change. That'd be really good if you could do that. But then again, Tzeentch is already powerful enough. The only thing Tzeentch needs is replenishment rate.
The winds of change.
Now, we don't really want to be overcasting it, because for one thing, that's going to annihilate a unit anyway, and it just increases the cooldown before we can do it again. And since he doesn't have the Staff of Tomorrow equipped, I can't really... I can reduce the cooldown just by casting other things, but still, it's just a lot quicker if... Just casting that to get the cooldown down. Okay, let's pop down that. Really important to keep the Lords of Change all together. Mitigates the amount of damage that's being done. Popping this down is also good. Reduce the amount of damage because it reduces their melee attack by 48. And missile units will usually prioritize Kairos. So you got to keep him moving, making it harder for them to dodge. Okay, this guy here is not hidden, but... Oh, no, okay, just move over. These guys here are hidden, so let's actually land them and just come over here, because the terrain's obstructing it. It's almost too easy with this army. I don't even have to be efficient. Okay, maybe we need to focus a little bit on that Elemental Bear, because it can break through our barrier pretty quickly. This spell here still sucks. Tested it out. Still. Same thing with Arcane Surge. This is post the 1.02 patch, which basically made no gameplay changes. Also, just to iterate, just supposed to say this one more time, I do actually like Warhammer 3. I just hate the Realm of Chaos campaign. As long as I'm not interacting with the Realm of Chaos, I really enjoy this game. And you know what? When the, I think when the mod workshop opens up, I will actually use mods, because the current campaign has just no replayability. Okay, that guy's surrounded there, that's not good. This is why I say you gotta get into a blob. Get him out, get him out, get him out. Come on. But he disobeyed that. Gotta babysit them. And yeah, CA is just massively dragging their heels with patches and content. I just don't know what's going on. I totally understand many of you guys are frustrated. I wish there was something I could do. It's probably one of the reasons I got so angry. Felt completely helpless. Couldn't do anything about it. Alright, get this one out of here. He's just getting picked on, because he's the weakest. He'll have less barrier than the others as well. Yeah, we really need them to take out the... Okay, they got rid of the Elemental Bear. Because if you went up against a lot of elemental bears, you should just use Blue Fire of Singe. But like I said, we don't want to rely too heavily on the magic. We want these guys to do a bit. Which they are, you know, they're outnumbered there, and they're holding out reasonably well. And they're getting loads of kills. I could also use their magic, but you have to pay full price for it. I don't know, I just don't like paying full price for anything. Discount or nothing. Good damage from over here. And they do have some anti-large, so those bear riders are a problem. Ice Guard also a problem. I need some spells. So we can eventually bring this guy back as we do more and more life blooms. Them being in loose formation is a bit annoying. I can't really dish out tons of damage to them that way. With the spells at least. Don't have to be too pedantic about the regens. When it gets below about 50, I think that's probably a good time for one of them. Could also just stop overcasting spells and just regular cast it, because it's not too expensive, Lord of Singe. Definitely not the cheapest Lord of Magic. Crap, it's like the whole bloody thing. Do you know what's another funny thing? Is that the Demon Prince might actually be able to do this kind of stuff. Maybe not quite as well as Kairos, but you go the full Singe line, pop down a Nurgle caster in here, and like a Nurgle caster on the ground, and a so that you can access unlimited winds of magic, and then a whole bunch of Singe ones, because I believe the final equipment for what's going on with their okay. they're glowing green. They're infected with Nurgle. Yeah, with the Demon Prince, his final equipment set, I believe, gives extra barrier for all units, and would actually make the Lords of Change essentially free, which is the main objection that I have to this. It's just money. Which, by the way, minor objection, not that big of a deal. What is going on with their bloom there? Not ready to come back yet. And they just got the army losses. Cool. But yeah, I think that the Demon Prince could actually manage this. Just switch this guy out for a Death Wizard. Maybe if you got a Death Wizard and a Nurgle Wizard, you could do mass heals. So yeah, the Demon Prince could actually have some good Doom stacks. Because yeah, it's just not really necessary to do that with Kairos. He's already so powerful. But then again, like I said, they'll probably patch this out. I don't think it should be a priority for them. I think the priorities are going to be fixing the Realm of Chaos, which I think they're not going to fix it on the first try, and getting rid of the supply line bug, which that should definitely be a priority for them. Alright. Cool. So let's talk about the Lord of Change Doom stack, and let's have a look at how much damage they dished out. Obviously, Kairos did a lot of the heavy lifting there. You know, if you compare this to the Bloodthirsters with the same amount of time put into the battle would have inflicted 4 times as many kills. But you're not really utilizing them for their ability to dish out damage quickly. They're not the greatest melee fighters, but they've got that barrier, and if you can cycle them out effectively, which I didn't do that well, you can essentially keep them in against unlimited number of opponents. You just got to watch out for high damage units to just get through the barrier straight away. Were we on the attack or the defense here? It looks like we were on the defense, yeah. Because I want to have a look at how he's spec'd up Kairos. And I also want to have a look at the traits of those heroes. And then I'll give it a rating. Okay, so... Alright, let's have a look. So, Kairos, I believe he would have... Oh, he corrupted by Khorne. That's not that big of a deal, that one. Oh, it's actually not a bad corruption, because you get weapon strength. Losing 5 control local province isn't that big of a deal when you're in enemy territory. Yeah, he's got the Wades through Gore one, and he should have... Oh, and you're corrupted by Slaanesh. That one there is not that... you gotta watch out for that one. If you go up against Slaanesh. Where is it? Defeated Throt. I didn't see it in there, but maybe I missed it. Oh, no. Maybe you didn't get it. Either that or I'm blind and I just can't see it. But I can't see him having defeated Throt. Not that big of a deal. I guess he's just he's missing out on 10% extra health. Wand of Whimsy. There's another item that you get. Oh, you got 3 chromatic tomes. That was lucky. I went through an entire campaign. I only got 1. There's an item in here. I'm just seeing if you've got it. It's a blue item. I don't see it. No, it doesn't look like you've got it. But it gives you extra melee attack, melee defense, and health. So an extra 10% health would be good, just to get your barrier up. So you're missing out on about 20%, which would be about another 1,600 extra hit points. So it's not a one-man Doomstack, and he definitely didn't need it, but Kairos is not actually at his full power there. So yeah, you got Slaanesh Blade, Talisman of Endurance, so you don't actually have maximum ward save. Yeah, that's fine. And the what's it called? The Armor of Destiny would have been better here for the physical resistance, especially against all those missiles, because they were not magical. And if you have a look over here, so the ones that you went with, yep, that's fine. That one's good for the Doomstack that you've got, for sure. Yep, that's all fine. This is actually a complete waste, because I believe it's kind of impossible to actually get a Lord of Change above rank 3 currently. So yeah, that's actually a complete waste, which is unfortunate. Just bugs, whatever. Not having the Oracle. Yeah, that's fine. You don't really need that. That's not very useful. And everything else is fine. Yeah. Alright, cool. So yeah, how would I rate this? This is an 11 out of 10 Doomstack. Right? What? We've never had an 11 out of 10 Doomstack. Yep. It's 11 out of 10 because it is actually too powerful. Okay? So just hear me out with this. This army is too powerful. I don't need to send the save file back, so just bear with me with this. This is the 10 out of 10 Doomstack, right? Because Kairos, if you're, half competent at the game, can't be killed. Although I would highly recommend putting these guys on the ground so they can hide. It depends on the map that you go up against. If there's no trees and there's nowhere to hide, then you probably do want to put them on the thing. You just have to gauge the map before you make the attack or whatever, or the defense. So sitting in trees really will help. And yeah, having this guy here on horseback and giving him as much speed as possible so he can run away if he can't hide is really good. But if you absolutely need to, at the worst case scenario, and there's just nowhere for them to hide, because you've got the Blade of Slaanesh, you can withdraw them all from the battlefield, and all that's going to do is just reduce the amount of Winds of Magic generation. You've still got an Arcane Conduit, so as long as you keep casting the Blue Fire of Tzeentch, you can just take out the entire army that way. And as long as they don't have anything particularly fast that can actually catch you. But Kairos does have the ability to hide. And if you've only got 1 unit on the battlefield, the AI tends to not be very good at trying to catch them, even if they've got a lot of flying units. So the biggest threat to this would be something along the lines of Bretonnia, which aren't on the campaign map currently, if they brought like Royal Pegasus Knights to the battlefield, because they would be able to outrun you, and they've got physical attack, and they would be a problem to get rid of quickly. But since they're not here, you don't have to worry about it. The Jade Longma You don't have to worry about them because they don't have magical attack anyway. You could probably beat them in melee. But yeah, so it was an 11 out of 10 stack, but because it is too powerful, and you can save a lot more money by not having them. And that, I'm not saying don't recruit Lords of Change. I'm saying that you would only do that if you just want to be so excessive in your strength that you just don't need to, sort of thing. So that's why it's an 11 out of 10. It's probably one of the only Doom stacks in the game where I would say it's just too powerful. You actually shouldn't have it to be. It's just too strong. It's too much. It's too much power. You need to dial it down a bit, and you get the exact same results, but you save some money. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. This is the first time I've given anything above a 10 out of 10. And again, just to reiterate, the reason it's 11 out of 10 is because it was too strong, that it's actually inefficient. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.